Death, believe it or not, has a personality. And not the cold, skeletal kind you'd imagine from horror movies. In fact, Death in this story is a little tired of its job. If anything, it's overworked, stressed, and surprisingly empathetic. In Nazi Germany during World War II, there's plenty of work for Death, and it would love nothing more than to take a break. Instead, Death decides to narrate a story for us, and this is where we meet a girl named Liesel Memminger. The story opens with Liesel on a train heading toward her new foster family. Beside her is her younger brother, but he doesn't make it. He dies during the journey, leaving Liesel utterly alone. During his burial, something inside Liesel shifts. Maybe it's grief, maybe it's rebellion, but she steals her first book, The Gravedigger's Handbook. She doesn't even know how to read it yet, but that book becomes her first treasure, her first act of resistance against a world that seems determined to take everything from her. Liesel arrives at Himmel Street, and let's pause here for a moment. Himmel means heaven in German. But don't let the name fool you. The horrors waiting on this street are anything but heavenly. Even Death comments on the irony of that name. Liesel's new foster parents are Hans and Rosa Hubermann. Hans, or Papa, is a kind, gentle man with an accordion and a soul as soft as freshly baked bread. Whenever Liesel wakes up screaming from nightmares of her brother's death, it's Hans who sits with her, teaching her to read in the flickering light of the basement. Rosa, or Mama, is the opposite. She's loud, she's cranky, and she calls everyone Saukerl or Saumensch. But underneath all that shouting is a woman who loves fiercely, even if she's terrible at showing it. It's a strange household, but it becomes home. Next door is Rudy Steiner, a boy with hair the color of lemons and a love for running. And for Liesel. Rudy is her partner in crime, her best friend, and the kid who keeps asking for a kiss but never quite gets one. Well, not until it's too late. Together, Rudy and Liesel become a mischievous duo, stealing apples, potatoes, and anything they can get their hands on when food becomes scarce. But beyond their innocent escapades, the shadow of war is growing. Nazi flags wave in the streets, and everyone knows that life is about to get harder. Food is rationed, fear creeps into every conversation, and the whispers of what is happening to Jewish families start to grow louder. Then one day, Hans is asked for a favor, one that could cost him his life. A Jewish man named Max Vandenberg needs a place to hide. Hans doesn't hesitate. Years ago, during World War I, Max's father saved Hans's life. When Hans brought the news of his friend's death to Max's mother, she gave Hans an accordion as a thank you. That accordion now sits in the Hubermann home like a symbol of the past and of promises that must be kept. So Max comes to live in the basement at 33 Himmel Street. He's gaunt, pale, and full of fear, but he's also brave and kind. Max and Liesel bond almost immediately. Both are haunted by nightmares, and both use stories to escape the horrors around them. Max even writes and paints stories for Liesel, scratching words and pictures over the pages of old books to create something new, something beautiful amidst the ugliness of war. All the while, Death watches. And, Death comments. It warns us of tragedies before they happen, but honestly, that doesn't make the pain any easier. Death is struck by how cruel humans can be, but also by how astonishingly kind they can be in the face of cruelty. At one point, Death admits,
"I'm haunted by humans."
And after seeing what happens on Himmel Street, you'll be haunted too. One of the most moving moments comes when Hans, seeing a Jewish prisoner being marched to Dachau, just can't help himself. He offers the man a piece of bread. It's such a small gesture, but in Nazi Germany, such kindness is, well, treasonous. Hans is beaten, the prisoner is whipped, and from that moment on, Hans knows he's put his entire family in danger. But kindness runs deep in this family. Liesel, inspired by Hans, later tries to help a starving Jew herself, and is punished just as brutally. These small moments of defiance, they shine brighter than any act of violence. And then, the moment Death has been hinting at finally arrives. Himmel Street is bombed. The destruction is total, and almost everyone Liesel loves is taken from her in an instant. Hans, Rosa, Rudy, all gone. Rudy never gets the kiss he's been asking for, at least not while he's alive. Liesel kisses him goodbye, her heart breaking in pieces that can never be put back together. And yet Liesel survives. She survives because words have saved her. Books have been her sanctuary, her way of making sense of a senseless world. So the story I've just told y'all comes from The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. Well, this is not an easy book, but it's not supposed to be. Zusak takes one of the darkest periods in human history and tells it through the eyes of a child, with death as our guide. The result is haunting, poetic, and strangely beautiful. The brilliance of The Book Thief lies in its narrator. Death is not a cold villain here, but a weary observer, almost more compassionate than the humans in the story. This unique perspective allows Zusak to tell a story that is both heartbreaking and deeply human. At its heart, this is a book about the power of words. Words can be weapons used to spread hate, like the Nazi propaganda Liesel sees around her. But words can also heal, bring hope, and save lives, as Liesel learns through her love of books. It's also a story about the resilience of the human spirit. Even in the face of unimaginable cruelty, people like Hans and Liesel find ways to be kind, to love, and to hold on to their humanity. Markus Zusak published The Book Thief in 2005, and it quickly became a modern classic. Though technically labeled as young adult, it refuses to fit neatly into categories. Adults and teenagers alike have found themselves deeply moved by this story. Zusak's writing style, with its short, poetic lines and death's asides, is unlike anything else you'll read. The Book Thief is one of those rare books that leaves you changed. It doesn't shy away from pain, but it also shows you that even in a world full of darkness, small acts of love and defiance can shine like stars. If you've never read it, give it a chance. And maybe, just maybe, you'll understand why death says,
I'm haunted by humans.
Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.